good morning. Welcome back to Children's Church. I'm so glad to have you here with me. And today we're talking about a guy named Lazarus. Now, all this month we're going to be talking about don't give up. But today we're talking about Jesus, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. We're in the book of John, chapter 11. I'm going to bounce around the chapter so you guys get the full context, but I'm not reading for 10 minutes at you. And then we're going to talk about it. Ready? All right. Now a man was sick, Lazarus from Bethany, the village of Mary, her sister Martha. Mary is one who was anointed the Lord with fragrant oil and wiped his feet with their hair, and it was her brother Lazarus who was sick. So the sisters sent a message to him, Lord, the one you love is sick. When Jesus heard it, he said, this sickness will not end in death, but is for the glory of God, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it. Now Jesus loved Martha, her sister, and Lazarus. So when he heard he was sick, he stayed 2 more days where he was. Then he said, let's go to Judea again. Rabbi, just now they tried to stone you there. You're going again? Aren't there 12 hours in a day? Jesus answered, if anyone walks during the day, he doesn't stumble because he sees the light of the world. If anyone walks during the night, he does stumble because the light is not in him. He said this and then told them, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, and I'm on my way to wake him up. And the disciples said to him, Lord, if he has fallen asleep, he will get well. Jesus, however, was speaking about his death, but they thought he was speaking about natural sleep. So Jesus told them plainly, Lazarus has died. I'm glad for you I wasn't there so that you may believe, but let's go to him. Then Thomas, called Twin, said to his fellow disciples, let's go so that we may die with him. When Jesus arrived, he found Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles away. Many of the people had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them about their brother. As soon as Martha heard Jesus was coming, she went to meet him. But Mary remained in the house. Martha said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. Yet even now I know that whatever you ask from God, God will give you. Your brother will rise again, Jesus told her. Martha said, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection of the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me, even if he dies, will live. Everyone who lives and believes in me will never die, ever. Do you believe this? Yes, Lord, she told him. I believe you are the Messiah, Son of God, who comes into the world. Having said this, she went back and called her sister Mary, saying in private, the teacher is here and calling for you. When Mary came to where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and told him, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her crying and the people who had come with her crying, he was angry in his spirit and deeply moved. Where have you put him? Lord, they told him, come and see. And Jesus wept. So the people said, see how he loved him. But some of them said, couldn't he who opened the blind man's eyes could have also kept this man from dying? Then Jesus, angry in himself again, came to the tomb. It was a cave and the stone was lying against it. Remove the stone, Jesus said. Martha, the dead man's sister, told him, Lord, he's already decaying. It's been 4 days. Jesus said to her, didn't I tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God? So they removed the stone, and Jesus raised his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you heard me. I know you always hear me, but because of the crowd standing here, I said this so they would believe you sent me. After he said this, he shouted with a loud voice, Lazarus, come out! The dead man came out bound hand and foot in linen strips with his face wrapped in cloth. And Jesus said to them, loose him and let him go. Okay. I always think that story is incredible for a lot of reasons, but it's one of the few times where I think Jesus really reminds us what fully God and fully man means. Because at no point does Jesus not believe that Lazarus is coming back. He has the full assurance of faith behind him. But he's still a person, and his friend is dead, and he is weeping. And he gets angry about it. He's angry at them. He's angry at death. And he brushes death aside to bring Lazarus back. And I just think that those two things are so interesting when they're put together. Jesus was one of us. He loved his friend and he lost him, but he was also fully God. And he knew he could bring him back. And I always have to wonder, did God tell him to wait so that he could go and raise Lazarus and people could see him do it? Was he angry about that his dad told him to let him die so he could bring him back? We don't know that for sure. It's not recorded in the Bible, so I'm not going to say it happened. It's just something I wonder about. I wonder a lot of things about what Jesus was thinking and feeling. Because unless he told someone else, we really don't know. Because the Bible was written by other people. People who knew him, yes, but not by Jesus. So that one verse, Jesus wept. It's the shortest verse in the Bible and the most telling. Jesus felt despair too, but he didn't give up. He followed God's plan and he brought Lazarus back. Even in the face of grief, Jesus didn't give up when he knew he could do it. That's all I want you guys to remember for this week. I will see you next week with someone else who didn't give up. Okay.